Hello, welcome to a bonus episode of the Craft House Magic podcast. My name's Ellie and today I'm going to talk to you about the Stephen West Mystery Make-Along that happens every year. I'm going to chat about some of the previous ones. Well, in fact, I'll go through them all and show you the 6 that I've got completed that I've knitted myself. Chat to you about a few things that I've noticed about the MKAL and the things that you'll need for this year's. So I'll also be chatting to you about my guesses as to what's going to be included. No spoilers here because I have no idea, I'm just guessing. And I'm going to give you some colour ideas. I'm going to have some kits to make the shawl going in my shop. After this video is uploaded, you'll be able to purchase those. If you don't want to purchase, you can just use it as colour ideas out of your stash. So let's get on with the previous make-alongs. So Stephen West has done 13 previous mystery knit-alongs over the years. He started in 2011 and the first one was the Earth and Sky shawl. That was a really gorgeous triangle shaped shawl with stripes in it. I didn't actually see this when it came out, so I would have had a go. But that one was quite a nice sort of simple shape with sort of bold colours. In 2012 he did the Rockafellar shawl. Now I have got this on my to-do list actually. I didn't obviously see it at the time, but I want to do this. It's a beautiful crescent shaped shawl with 2 colours with some stripes and some bold shapes on there. I really like that, and it's something that I definitely want to go back and knit. 2013 was the Colour Craving shawl. That was a really cool Y shaped shawl with some really big eyelets in the centre. I don't know if this is really my taste, but I think with any of the Stephen West shawls, if you put your colours in there, it will look gorgeous anyway. 2014 was the Exploration Station. Now I saw this come out when it had actually finished, but I didn't actually knit it myself. I wish I had done because it's a brilliant shawl. It's a big, I think it's sort of between a crescent shape and a half circle shape, and there's different sections with different patterns of knitting in there with obviously your different colours that you used. In 2015 I joined in, so this was my first one out of Stephen West's mystery knit-alongs, and this is the Doodler. The Doodler was so much fun to knit. Mine came out a little bit sort of on the small side compared to everyone else's because I am quite a tight knitter, but this one out of all his shawls is relatively small compared to the really big ones that I'll show you in a bit. So I tend to wear this sort of wrapped around my neck like this with a shawl pin pinned at the top here to keep it together. I'll leave a link for the shawl pin in the description bar down below if you want to find that. It's got a little bird on it, but I normally wear it like that because it comes out sort of like a cowl using the shawl pin. If I was to wear it without the shawl pin, I find that it sort of falls off me a little bit, but I do like this one. It's one of my favourite Stephen West mystery knit-alongs. I used some Life in the Long Grass in 3 colourways, and I don't actually remember what the colourways were because it was quite a long time ago now, and I doubt they'll be still available with it being 2015. So that's the first one I joined in. The next year was 2016 and I joined in for the Building Block shawl, and this is what I ended up with. So this is made with some yarn from Hedgerow Yarns that I picked up specifically for this project. There's a little bit of brioche. This was my first bit of brioche, I think, in this section here. This one I did the largest size, so the actual length of this is absolutely massive. See, it's my arm span twice for the top there. But it was a lot of fun to knit, and I just loved the colours I used for this. It's something I wear quite a lot, and I didn't actually block it straight away. Do you know what? I don't even know if I blocked this because at the time I was too excited to wear it and never got around to blocking it. But that was a lot of fun, and that was called the Building Block shawl, and I think that's obvious why it was called the Building Block shawl. They're named really well, so you can kind of guess what they might look like. Well, a little bit. In 2017 was the Marled Magic, and I think the title of that put me off a little bit because I'm not really into marlin yarns that much unless it's the one one yarn marled with a gradient or something like that, but I was a little bit put off, so I didn't fancy doing that one. But there's sections that make up a sort of a short triangle shaped shawl, and he did some really big tassels on that one, so that looked quite fun. But the title kind of put me off to start with, but actually I think that would be something that would be really good for using up scraps. The next one in 2017 as well, so this was the first time he did two in the same year, was called the Speckle and Pop Shawl, and this is a really interesting longer shape with lots of big gaping holes in there and zigzags, so that was quite a fun shape. But I think I just went off going on doing make-alongs for a bit, so I didn't do that one as well. 2018 was the Texture Times shawl. That was a U shape with lots of waves in it. I don't know why I didn't join in. I should have done that. It looked quite fun with the radiating waves coming out of the centre there, and that looks like a shape that would be nice and wearable as well. Now in 2019 I got back to doing the mystery knit-alongs, and it was the Starflake. This was quite a large shawl, and I absolutely loved knitting this. I think I just about managed to keep up with all the steps for this one, and I think this one you can wear it like this if you've got a coat on, because it's got quite a sort of long bib bit, or over the back of your shoulders. I do think that this one really suits sitting on your shoulders because of the shape and the design, so it does look really nice when it's right over the back of your shoulders there. So that is one that I love to wear like this. So this is the Starflake shawl, and I knitted this in two of my own hand-dyed yarns, and it was the Ordinary World colourway and the Nobody Does It Better colourway. That's like a corally pink, but I love this, especially the sort of centre section and the zigzags coming out around it. So that is another one that I absolutely love, and I believe that this year's MKAL is a similar size to this, although there is going to be a couple of options whether you want to sort of cast off a bit earlier and make it a bit shorter. But I know for this one I did the sort of full size, so it made it nice and big. So that was the Starflake. So that was in 2019, and in 2020 was the Slipstravaganza. Now I think that this is probably one of my favourites, or is my favourite of all the mystery knit-alongs. Love, love, love this. I just love how all the different patterns sort of come together really nicely. And this one I actually stash dived. I think it was some Lolo Did It and a couple of other yarns that I got in my stash, but I put it together with this sort of darker grey, which was Living on a Prayer, one of my own hand-dyed yarn colourways. And this one is actually all on an MCN base, so it's extra squishy. So this is one of my absolute favourites. So again, I could wear it like this, so it keeps my front warm if I've got a coat on as well, but I do like to wear this one around my shoulder. This is quite a large one. I think he says that this is one of the larger of all of his shawls, but I do think that the Starflake's quite large as well. But there we go. I sometimes wear it with the shawl pin just on the side here, and you can really see all those beautiful zigzags all the way around. Love it. And I definitely like this honeycomb bit at the top as well. I did another shawl that had that honeycomb detail in it, which was absolutely gorgeous as well. So this is definitely one of my favourites. Big eyelet holes around there. And I'm very tempted to knit this one again, although there's so many other patterns I want to have a go at. In 2021 is the Shawlography. So I was a little bit apprehensive about this to start with, but I think with the colours that I've chosen, I really like it anyway. And it was a lot of fun doing all the different sections. There was a lot of different details, and obviously because it's called Shawlography, it implies that there's lots of different details in there as well. With this one, I actually ended up applying the last border the wrong way around, so it should have been that way, but I did it this way instead. But it actually makes it sort of look more blended because I put it on back to front, and I'd done about that much, and I thought actually I prefer it that way. So that was a happy accident. I was a bit annoyed to start with that I'd done it wrong, but then I realised I preferred it. So that one, I love these little I-cord details all around there. And I do tend to wear this one around my neck like so, because it isn't one of the very, very deep ones. So it is nice to wear it like this. Oh, actually goes really well with the top I've got on at the moment. But again, you can wear that across your back like so. So the colours that I used for this one were a group of colours that I actually called my Fade to Grey colour set. But I do have kits for this on my website if you're interested in making this shawl exactly in these colours. So in 2022, which was last year, was the Twists and Turns, and this is the Twists and Turns shawl. I actually did make some modifications for this one because in the original pattern there was a much larger piece sticking down from this centre section, which I didn't like as much because I felt like it was a little bit unbalanced, so I omitted that. But there's some really interesting sections with the cabled bit at the bottom here and some really nice stripes, and I'm really pleased with the colours I've chose for this. It's something that's actually really, really wearable with lots of things that I wear. And I do tend to wear this again round my neck like this because my favourite bit is this stripy bit at the front, and that obviously lies at the front when you wear it like this, and you can see those lovely stripes going down the side as well. But I will show you what it looks like around my shoulders. And there we go. If you wanted to wear it like that, you could wear it with a shawl pin to hold it up. But this was a lot of fun. There's a wiggly bit down the side there which is cabled, and one of my favourite bits as well with the cables, and the extra bit I've got I-cord in the middle. This one took me a little bit longer to knit actually. I found that this centre section absolutely took ages. I'm not quite sure why, probably because I got a young child at the time. But I did really enjoy knitting this, and this is made out of MCN yarn in the colour set golden brown that I designed specifically to go with this mystery knit along. So that is another lovely fun shawl. I find that all of Stephen West's mystery knit alongs, they're so much fun to make because you really don't know what's coming next, and it's sort of, even if it's quite a big shawl, it breaks it up because you've got those clues that are separate. He really does break it down for you in the little videos each week. So if you haven't done a lot of shawl knitting before, it'll be lovely and easy because he really does hold your hand. So he normally does some different size options, and I believe in this case there's definitely some size options for the 2023 Geogradient shawl, and so you'll be able to sort of finish it early if you're running out of yarn, or you just want a smaller shawl, or you can go the full hog and knit till the very end. I know in the past that if there is any brioche or anything, he normally gives you an option in case you're a bit scared of doing brioche, but honestly he really does break it down in these little tutorial videos every week to hold your hand. The shawl is obviously a mystery for the size and the shape of the shawl exactly, so you really don't know what's coming next, but that is what is interesting about it. So you'll get a clue each week. Clue 1 is out October the 5th, clue 2 is out October the 12th, clue 3 October the 19th, and clue 4 October the 26th. So you don't necessarily have to keep up with it, but it is really nice and exciting if you can. I do try and keep up with them. Last year I struggled a little bit because of that centre section, took me forever to knit, but I'm hoping that I can keep up with it this year because it is a lot of fun. Even if I'm not keeping up with it, I like to watch the videos ahead of time because I'm excited to find out what the next section of the shawl is going to be. So in terms of yarn and things that you'll need to make your shawl, this year you need 4 100-gram skeins of yarn in a gradient of colours. So he suggests to use sort of tonal with not too much busy speckling or something. You're alright with a bit of light speckling, so I've gone for tonals because that's what he sort of suggested. You need a 3.5mm circular needle with at least 100 centimetres in length, and he did say that you could do with a second one, but that can be a smaller size or the same size as the 3.5mm. So I would say 3.5mm, 100 centimetre cable length, and you need 4 stitch markers. So that's nice and easy to get together. I will put links to the needles if you need to purchase needles from my website, and the things you need in the description bar down below, and I'll be talking about some kits in a minute that are going in my shop today. So Stephen suggests that you do a swatch to put those colours together to make sure you like them, how they're working together. I don't tend to do a swatch because I'm a tight knitter. I know that I'm not going to run out of yarn, and I think the main reason to do a swatch is just to make sure that you're not a really loose knitter and then you might run out of yarn during the process of knitting this shawl. But normally I find that you have quite a lot left being a tight knitter. But if you are a loose knitter, I would suggest doing a little swatch. He says doing a swatch 30 stitches in garter stitch, 8 stripes of each colour, so you've got 4 garter ridges of each colour, and then you can see what that looks like together. But I'm pretty sure that these colour combinations all look lovely because you can just sort of see that they're quite bold transitions anyway. Before I show you the yarns that I've dyed up, I am going to guess what the actual shawl is going to come out like. So I'm thinking, because it's called the Geogradient shawl, I think it's going to have some sort of circular or semicircular theme with maybe sort of triangles making up that half circle or something like that. So that is my guess. I'm just going by the sort of space theme that he's put in his pictures and by the title. So it'll be interesting to see whether I'm right. What do you reckon it's going to look like? It'll be interesting to see your guesses. So Stephen himself has got some kits going up on the 2nd of September, that's this weekend, of yarns for the actual shawl, but I thought I'd dye some up as well because I'm so excited, and I wanted to dye some up ready for me to knit so that I have it ready to go on the 5th of October. So I've done 4 colourway combinations. First of all, I thought I'd do a very pink one. So these are inspired by the song Barbie Girl by Aqua. So all my yarns are inspired by songs from the sort of 70s, 80s and 90s, sometimes 60s and 50s as well. But this one's Barbie Girl, and I know that there's been a lot of hype on the new Barbie movie at the moment, so I thought I'd go for some pinks there. So we've got a very pale pink, a sort of mid-tone pink, a little pop bright pink, and then a darker pink to go with that. So that's that set. So this next set is more natural tones. We've got a really dark teal, a beautiful sort of emerald green, which I think goes gorgeous with the teal. Then we've got a pale blue and a grey brown, very pale grey brown, which I think is a very sort of natural tone. So I've called it It's Only Natural after the Crowded House song. I thought that goes together really nicely. I'm thinking that maybe I'll actually knit this one myself. I'm not sure yet. It's difficult to choose because these are all my favourites. I'm also trying to think of when I'm actually dyeing these yarns, I want to dye something that I really love, but also something that will go with some of my clothes as well. So that's what I'm trying to think at the same time. So if you're thinking which ones should I get or which colours should I put together, think about what colours you love and also which will go with your clothes really nicely, so you'll know you'll get lots of wear out of it. So this one's called Waterfalls, inspired by the song by TLC from the 90s, I think. We've got an undyed yarn, a very pale blue. We've got a bright pop of blue, and then we've got that same teal that's in the other kit. So that is a sort of a watery theme, so hence the title Waterfalls. And then last but not least, we've got this one, and I wanted to call it Sugar Pie Honey Bun, and that is after the Four Tops song, but the actual song isn't just called Sugar Pie Honey Bun. It's called I Can't Help Myself Sugar Pie Honey Bun, but I think Sugar Pie Honey Bun works much better for these, and I just love those together. We've got a beige, a coral pink, a brighter pink, and then a purple together. So there's 4 different colour set ideas. These will be in my shop as soon as the video's uploaded, so you can get hold of those. You can get them ordered in early, well in advance for the mystery knit-alongs, so you've got plenty of time. Or you could put yarns together out of your stash, so hopefully showing you my colour combinations has helped you choose. So the yarns that I've shown you, I'll have an option for the standard merino and nylon 4-ply, but I'll also do a luxury base as well, which will be the MCN, which I do like to go for sometimes. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye!